Well, here we are in the Deja Vu hotel room with the lights doing weird things. And there's a cantina just downstairs called the Inferno, which I'm probably going to visit after I take a shower, although my foot hurts. And we're here because I'm going to do the famous kidney stone x-ray tomorrow morning early. So I'm here to do that, and it was very difficult morning this morning. There was a lot of emotions, a lot of weird crossed feelings. Mom and sis were shouting at each other, then Mom started shouting at me, and basically the idea is that Mom wants to have some space between me and her so that she can handle sis on her own way. She's actually right. I'm kind of stuck in the ranch with not too much not too much to do, not too much hope, not too much. There's no trajectory there. So it's not a bad idea that I get another place, but on the other hand, it's an expensive idea. I'm gonna do a video here soon about a full financial disclosure of my activities in Mexico and in Chintamani Ashram, and you'll be able to understand why it's not so easy. Basically, we're depending on my Social Security check, on my disability check, and all that's cool because it's $600. $600 have to somehow last a whole month and feed 3 children and 3 adults, and 4 cats and a rabbit, and some fishes and a turtle. And it's not easy. It's not at all easy. So, when I had the store, when I had the tarot shop, there was about 4,000 pesos more, about $400 extra in our budget, which we no longer have. So we've been scraping and begging and borrowing and stealing and whatever we could to survive. And it puts a lot of stress on me because I feel obliged to pay the bills. And it's not an easy job. Then there's the whole kind of like, emotional aspect of it, the whole, harmony or lack of harmony in the family. Sis feels that she's in the butthole of hell, being taken care of by 2 demons, which doesn't help the situation a lot. And Mom feels that we are all kind of fallen Vaishnavas, which doesn't help a lot. And me, I'm in a kind of weird space because of my picadillos as a young man, selling my soul to the devil and all that stuff, and the fact that it actually happened. What I asked for actually happened. I'm taking care of my sister's children. They're kind of my children now, and they're not really my children, but it's still legal. So there's this whole sort of like going into hell realms with the 3 adults, which of course affects the children. I mean, it's undoubtedly the children are affected by these dark visions of our reality, and fighting against those dark visions is kind of the job. It's kind of the job is trying to make sense out of out of that. My health obviously doesn't help. Right now I'm here in Toluca for my health, and I'm in this strange room for my health. Take a look at the room here. Oddly enough, I just saw an article on Facebook by some psychological studies about selfies, and they said that selfies are made by people that are seriously sociopathic, deranged, egocentric, the whole works. So this is definitely a selfie I'm doing here. So I'm in the sociopathic, deranged realm with you guys, and that's cool. I mean, the sociopathic part of it, I don't deny at all. I'm not at all into this society and this world as it is. It's not my world. I definitely don't approve. My consciousness does not approve of this world. To me it's a world that is deranged. So feeling outside of the society of this world, being sociopathic, I don't feel I'm that wrong in being that. Deranged, well, deranged as deranged does. I define mental health as doing harm to others. If you don't do harm to others, you're healthy mentally. If you harm others in your acts, then you're mad. You're insane. You're nuts. So that's kind of the basic premise. And here in this particular room, we're facing the man in the mirror at the highest level. And oddly enough, the mirror exercises where your face disappears and all that stuff, if you stare in the mirror for long enough, should also work in the camera. So I don't know how much of that, because I'm actually filming my own image. I'm not filming myself. I'm filming the image in the mirror that I'm facing. I'm actually here. This is me. That is my image. So I appreciate this chance of this room to be able to do that. That's pretty cool, actually. But pretty terrifying if you think that mirrors are kind of like this dark realm, whatever. I actually, if I smoke a lot of dope and I look into a mirror long enough, I not only see my face disappear, change, modify, become all types of things, I also see other faces. Sooner or later, there's other faces that appear around me and near me, and other, like there and there, and other things that appear. So I don't know if you guys can see them. Probably not. Doesn't matter. I see them, and that's enough. And see this one right there. Boom, it's gone. You point to them and they disappear. It's funny, isn't it? Kind of halo-ish faces. Shadowy figures, whatever. There's a lot of them all the time in the mirrors. And this big mirror lends itself to that specifically. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to take an aspirin. I'm going to drink some Coca-Cola. I'm going to go into the shower. I'm going to shower. I'm going to watch some TV. I'm going to try to read Agua Hombre Lagarto to see what needs to be done with those chapters that I haven't finished of the novel. And, when I was a filmmaker in Los Angeles, I spent a lot of time in the office not filming anything, which was kind of ridiculous because you're supposedly a filmmaker. You're supposed to be making movies, and what you're really doing is you're making deals to make movies, which is absurd. Here, with this little camera and this mirror, I'm making a movie right here. This is a movie. This is it's not Kubrick and it's not Spielberg, but it's my movie. And I'm the star, and I'm the protagonist, also the antagonist, because it's kind of like Kramer versus Kramer. It's me against myself, in a sense. Sharing with you guys my struggles and my problems in my 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 quest. I'm doing it because a long time ago I thought, well, if we were all transparent, if we all were able to share with each other everything that happens to us, there would be nothing to hide. There would be literally nothing to hide. There would be no hidden things in mankind, kind of like this ever-present eye that sees everything and shows everything to everyone about you. And I thought that would be a good idea for instance, presidents or senators or governors, that they would have to be, that they would lose the right to their privacy, because they are public figures. They do public things. They have to be accountable to the public, to the Vox Populi. It was a very popular idea back in the Deoxy days, Deoxy.org, and all that stuff. And this little camera and this mirror is kind of like what is left of that for me. It's the part where I can actually share these ideas with you. And I don't know who you are. I mean, I don't know. You are everybody. You are nobody and you're everybody. It's a really weird thing. You're the ones that are looking at the Dajjal, and I'm holding the Dajjal right here. This thing is the Dajjal. That's another form of it. The ever-present eye of the Dajjal. Of course, my intention in doing that was actually to reach for power. It was my search for power, which subsequently I've found out to be an evil quest, a quest that is actually not good for oneself or for the people around oneself. Because if you have power, you have responsibility for others, you can fuck them up. And there is a sacrifice to power, which I've actually spoken about several times. You have to sacrifice that which you most love, to reach that power, which becomes your greatest love. Since I don't want to do that, I'm immune to that somehow, because I don't have to sacrifice voluntarily. And for the power to be real, the sacrifice has to be voluntary, otherwise it doesn't work. So knowing that, you retrieve yourself, you push yourself outside of the realm of power, and you become therefore anonymous and somehow insignificant, humble. And in that humility, you find strength, because then you realize you're no longer having to sacrifice to empower yourself at the cost of other people's welfare. And that's my trip now. That humility is what I'm all about. Having said that, I need to make some money for this family. I need to earn some bucks, and I'm not sure how to do that yet. Humility and money don't go well together. They don't combine in a good. You can't be humble, and you can't be poor and not and humble. You can't be rich and humble. If you're poor, you're humble. If you're not poor, you cannot be humble. It just doesn't apply. So, but if you have little children that depend on you, you have to reach for that power. It's a catch-22. So the next item in the list of items to discuss, and actually I'm facing my own face in the mirror, and I don't know you guys, but I'm actually disappearing. I'm actually seeing my face disappear, which is pretty fucking awesome. It's actually beautiful because you realize you're nothing. First thing that you disappear is your eyes. Your eyes become like two big holes, and then obviously the beard is like a big black thing that swallows almost all the face. Only thing that is left is a little bit here, the cheeks, the nose, the forehead. And if you relax your eyes, if you relax your mind, that too starts to disappear from this side to this side, starts to vanish. Eventually, I've done this exercise several times. Eventually, it's totally gone. There's nothing there but blackness, emptiness. But it's like a ghost. It's your own ghost. You're looking at your own ghost somehow. It's pretty cool. But that was not what I wanted to talk about. So I can't disappear totally right now because I wanted to share something else with you guys. Which is kind of going too. Whoa, I'm getting pretty ghostly there. You see a skull, basically. You see a skull. What's left of the skull with a beard. Covers the bottom part of the skull. Weird. Anyways, yes. I was going to share something with you about damnation and all that stuff. I mean, is there or is there not free will? That's the big question in my heart right now. And to say my heart, I have to accept that there is an I, which is actually false. There is no I. That's one of the greatest lies of all, is that there is a person named Robin Kazmarczyk. There is no such thing. It's just a fiction of a collective mind, which has somehow created a body and a mind but this fiction disappears eventually. It returns to the nothingness from which it comes, and it's a good thing because there's no permanence to this fiction, and there need not be any permanence to my fiction or your fiction or I or you. There is no such thing. We're just fantasies. So the question is if this I, which is Robin, has a free will. And obviously the moment you accept a deal with the devil, you lose your free will. That's understood, especially if the devil keeps his part. Which I did when I was 20-something. But even further away from that, at a deeper level than that, there is no devil, there is no God, there is no I, there is no you, there is nothing. And in that nothingness, there's no freedom, but also there's no lack of freedom. The closest I can share with you to what the solution of the ego that I understand is the Prajnaparamita Hidaya Sutra. The Prajnaparamita Hidaya Sutra goes something like Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, while practicing deeply the Prajnaparamita, recognized that all 5 skandhas, all 5 senses are empty, and was relieved from all suffering. Gate parasam gate bodhisvaha. It's a journey of a thing that itself is not real. And it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and it doesn't really end the journey. It just goes further. The universe is kind of like that, it goes and goes and goes. And in my deepest mushroom trips, what I began to do was to forget my name, the name of Buddha, the name of Jesus, the name of all the names, all the words. They were no longer important. Life itself was not ended. There was a living thing there, but it was not tied to any other living thing. It was this profound loneliness somehow. A very profound loneliness. Because all the things you consider important aren't. Your mother, your father, your children, your nieces and nephews. Oddly enough, from that mushroom trip, there was 2 voices which I heard when I was actually forgetting it all. Everything was forgotten. First voice was my niece, Rasastali. The second voice was my aunt, Tiakuka. And they were telling me, stay, don't go. The going to that place where there is no memory of anything, or there is no connection to anything, better well said, because things were there, but they were no longer of any consequence. Names were there, but they were no longer of any consequence. The closest that I got out of that is that love is what draws you to reality and to a form, human or otherwise. And that love, because who actually got me out of the mushroom trip was the cat. My cats. But Maui, especially my cat Maui, he drew me out back into my body. So, somehow love is what gets us here and what keeps us here and what makes us appreciate the trip. When you get that, man, you want to do no harm to nobody. When you get that profoundly, when you really get that, and I tell you, I don't want to do any harm to nobody. And what did I have for lunch? Tacos. And what type of tacos? I had for breakfast I had the pig, and for lunch I had suadero, which is actually beef, and that's doing harm to somebody. I didn't even see who I did harm to, but I got them right here in my belly. They are being harmed in this instant by my gastric juices, which is pretty fucking intense if you know what they feel inside of your body. Those spirits are here right now in this enormous, putrefact, rotting intestine, which is wild. When you get it, it is so fucking wild. So, what was I sharing this for? Yes, perdition and free will, and making deals with the devil for your soul. Now, first you have to identify who the devil is, because the Christians, they lie. They don't get it. Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, has to be, by definition, that which is the best and the worst. So God and the devil are one. When you get that there is a being who encompasses all other beings, you get that the duality of this being splits it into two beings that are still one being. This is a profound realization for me, because you cannot lose your soul to the devil as you cannot lose your soul to God. You can act for evil. You can do that. You can act evilly. You can destroy. You can harm. You can hurt. You can rape. You can murder. You can steal. But you can't lose your soul, because your soul is that part of you which is like the Alpha and the Omega, beyond the three gunas, the three forms of nature, which are Raja, Tama, Rajatama, Bhakti. Ignorance, passion, and compassion. Not compassion. Bondad in Spanish. I don't know how to traduce it in English. So, that's my spiel. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I did have some shouting with Mom this morning. It was not pleasant. She is stressed. She's stressed because she has a little baby, 5-year-old baby, on her face like this all day long, and she doesn't know what to do with her. And I'm doing the best I know how to serve those that I love. And that's all I know to do before I die. Anything else doesn't make sense. Fame, money, power, prestige, all those things come from above or from below, depending on who you're dealing with. And they are neither necessary nor necessarily good for you, because in the end we are just dust in the wind, man. We're just dust in the wind. And that's my spiel today, and I wanted to share that with you. And tomorrow I'm going to go check my kidney stones early in the morning. And we're in a hotel in Toluca. And I'm going to take a bath, and I'm going to drink some Coca-Cola, and I'm going to take some aspirin because my foot hurts and my head hurts, and I'm a lot of weed smoke. And there's a war in Mexico, and there's a war in Afghanistan, and I suppose there's a war in the United States that is not seen. So there's wars and rumors of wars, and we're all waiting for the king to come and settle it all out.